Goodness to you. I'm Sporty King, and I always say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to Gift Friday. I created it because so often we hear people say TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. But I say, what allure does Friday have to the person who took their last breath on Thursday? Or any day before that for that matter. So I use what I've learned through Psalm 92 and 2. It is good to proclaim your unfailing love in the morning, your faithfulness in the evening. Yes, instead of TGIF, I use TGIT. Thank God it's today. And then TGIT, thank God it's tonight. Thus I add the lesson in Matthew 6 and 34. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Thank God it's tonight. Today's trouble is enough for today. Thank God it's today. And I offer first another way of looking at TGIF, and that is trusting God is free. Think about what it takes and what it costs to be blessed with the most important gift of every day, waking up. Doesn't cost you a dime. Yet that still moves us into realizing that when we move the T and TGIF from the front to the end, we find what we really must give God thanks for, and that is today. Today, thus GIFT. God is for today. Gift Friday is the online sharing of one of my original poems and its possible uses to inspire audiences online or in person, and especially you. Now, each poem will be my gift to you after the broadcast. Here you hear me read it and then share the gift. With this broadcast, I'm going to share one of my original poetic messages and tell you how to use it to help start a conversation that could change someone's life for the better, especially yours. And if you'd like a keepsake colorful copy and you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can just email me at sporty@sportyking.com. If you're watching on YouTube or on my website, you can just drop your request in the thread. Now, the reason I ask you to email me if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, is because when I send it, that way I will be responding to you. So therefore, any security will not look at my response as spam, because it'll recognize my name. So that's why I'm saying to you, don't just put, send me the copy. If I don't happen to have your email address, I will be flagged as spam and it might not come through. So please email me if you'd like a copy, and I'll repeat the email address at the end of the broadcast. Now realize I'm actually laughing out loud to myself that I hadn't started my Gift Friday series with this, my base poem and belief. And that is, I found out I'm dying, a celebration of life. Physically, we're all dying from the day we're born. Get over it. Did you think that waiting for COVID, and did you think that you were waiting for COVID and now you should finally take precaution? COVID is just a new way to die. But I'm not here to, and the book is not talking about death. It's talking about life. One of the notes I highlight is how we have to be conscious of not getting caught up in the headlines and miss the subtitles in life. I found out I'm dying is the headline. A celebration of life is the subtitle. Whether in old school newspapers, online posts, or news flash, the headline contains an element of the story to grab your attention. Here's my promotion in the book, in the foreword in the book. It says, a reader-friendly book of poetry, designed and written to provide you with a story that allows you to place yourself in the many situations that I've lived, personally and empathetically. The insight you will gain can be applied to your personal, and professional life. When you have a healthy attitude about life, we realize that physical immortality is not one of our options. If the doctor gave and could really give you 2 months to live, would you live with reckless abandon? Or would you spend precious time with loved ones? Would you take the time to encourage a child to believe in him or herself, using your gift, your blessing, your fortune, your spirituality, yourself as an example? Statistics show that after being eagerly anticipated for 1 to 10 months, fully 100% of the people born immediately begin the aging process that could ultimately result in their dying. Yet there are no statistics that show just how full our lives become when we allow ourselves to let go and enjoy each moment as if it were our last. Honesty, trust, consideration, empathy, integrity, introspection, laughter, love. Excuse me. When we surround our lives with a balanced blend of these gifts, we find plenty of reason to celebrate. Thus the poem, I Found Out I'm Dying. You see, actually, I've known it for quite some time now, but for so many others, it's new news. So I'd like to thank you, God, for yesterday. And I ask that you, my friends, pause to think about some of the wild things I've survived before this, my greatest challenge. And believe me, death is the only challenge we won't sit and talk about or relive. But we can find joy in it. Joy because there'll be enough kind words at the funeral to create a new dictionary. You see, kind words keep us alive, physically, mentally, spiritually. I found out I'm dying. And when I woke up this morning, I wept. Then I laughed aloud and I started to sing, but remember that I couldn't. So I danced instead. And I whistled a tune as I made my bed. I threw open the window and let out a cheer. Actually, I just smiled so no one could hear. I exercised, ate, and dressed after I washed. Then I looked in the mirror and gave myself a wink. Not bad for a body that survived another day. I'm so blessed to get older, is all I could think. I didn't bother reading the obituary because I knew I wasn't there. Instead, I clipped my fingernails and neatly styled my hair. I found out I'm dying, and that I have been since day number 1. So I spend little time regretting my life because I'd rather spend the time having fun. 2 keys that I mentioned in the poem. 1, so often in life we get caught up in the headlines and we miss the subtitles. And then 2, just rereading those last 4 lines. I found out I'm dying and that I have been since day number 1. So I spend little time regretting my life because I'd rather spend the time having fun. I've used this poem to help people deal with grief, talk about decisions, sharing their gifts, even changing what some call a bucket list to being their live it list. Use this message to remind yourself to share a kind word inspired by an act of compassion. Use this poem to remind yourself to celebrate life. I'm Sporty King. Enjoy your gift and think about how you can share it. If you'd like a copy, again, email me if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn at sporty@sportyking.com. You're on YouTube or on my website, just drop a note in the thread telling that you'd like a copy. Of course, you'd have to send your email address as well, all right? But most important, remember, GIFT, God is for today. God bless you and have a safe weekend. Ciao.